Hi, Mark Vergeer here. Can you believe the MSX standard already turned 30? God, for a non-native speaker, this is very hard. Then the MSX standard turned 30. Well, just yesterday, I believe. It's a computer standard created by Microsoft and ASCII 30 years ago, and it was a way to try it to standardize the running of software in various computers, and it was a way to actually battle against the successes of the Commodore 64 and the ZX Spectrum in the home computer market during the 80s. Well, the MSX standard really never caught on much in the USA, but it did become very popular in parts of Europe, parts of Brazil, and parts of Russia, and also Asia, of course. And I believe there's a big Australian, New Zealand following as well. So, yeah, vive la MSX, 30 years. Let's go check it out. Hi there, Mark Vergeer here with a small video on MSX. Yes, MSX, the computer standard created by ASCII 30 years ago. Yes, you've heard correctly. The MSX standard has turned 30. And yeah, this video is just to show you two of the machines that I use most. So here it goes. So this basically is my machine of choice that I use. It's an all-in-one, and it's a it has a German keyboard. It's a German MSX2 machine, and it's the Philips VG8235 with a working floppy drive still. So yeah, I'm running Gradius 2 right now, which is a great game, and I've got another machine that is really special, and I've been holding up making videos about it because I wanted to show it on a special occasion. And actually the MSX standard turning 30 is actually quite a good occasion, I think. So yeah, let's pull out what I think is a very cool looking machine and show you some of that. Okay, well, the machine in question is actually a Sony Hitbit F1XD, and as you can see, it has a very nice red floppy drive bay. There's some scuff marks on it, and cartridge port. It's a bit dusty, and it's a Japanese machine, as you can tell by the keyboard. There are some scuff marks on it. It's not in mint condition, as you can see, but it's it has a nice keyboard, hooked up a joystick. I have to use a power base or a power converter to convert it to 110 volts. And let's turn on the machine and see what it does. So it says MSX, and then it boots into a different version of basic or than the regular what is it, MSX2 machines I'm used to. This is actually the first Japanese MSX machine I've ever had, and it's a great system. It's different, and it still has a functioning floppy drive. So it would be a shame to get rid of this floppy drive. So may have to refurbish the belt at some time, and let's go take a look at some of the cartridges running on it. So actually a thing wrong with the machine, as I think it's a capacitor issue. It doesn't output sound, and or it does output sound, but at a very low volume, and which is a shame, because this machine is supposed to have really decent sound. So it may be a capacitor issue, maybe a sound chip issue, I'm not sure, but the volume of the sound is pretty low. So but yeah, nice overview. So the MSX standard has turned 30, and I thought I'd celebrate it with a nice Japanese MSX2 system. Sadly, it is lacking sound. It does display the kanji properly there. Yeah, and in the background you actually have my MS-DOS retro system sporting a Voodoo graphics card and stuff. But yeah, in honor of the MSX standard reaching 30 years, I'm probably going to put up some MSX gameplay footage, and I think I'm going to be recording that from my Sony HB700, which I also showed in a previous video, which is a MSX2 system with 256 kilobytes of RAM. Well, you'll see. I'll probably attach some of the footage. I'll show it in this video. Man, this is ad hoc. Yeah, this is going to need some surgery, and yeah, I mean this working area is going to be a place where I'll be restoring quite a few systems, and yeah, this is one of them. And yeah, just look at the device. I mean, it has a number of keypad. It has all sorts of special functions. You can pause the system, which I have yet never seen on any other system. You can actually stop it. You can reset it. Well, these are basic function keys, but these are all kanji characters. And there's also a speed control. You can also change the speed of the system with the slider. You actually have some sort of heartbeat thing going on, so that's quite interesting. And then you also have something that's called a Ren-Sha turbo, which I am also not very familiar with. The Ren-Sha turbo. You can put it to max, or you can make it slower. What it is, I'm not sure, but you can actually alter the speed of the machine. And yeah, I've never read anything about it, but yeah, they seem to work. But yeah, cool. You can actually hear the very low sound that is outputted. So I'm using the Mega Flash ROM. And this is a list. Oh cool, look, compile. Prologue of list. So this is hooked up over composite video. You can actually have her here. Actually hear the very low sound volume. So yeah, it must be some capacitor issue. Yeah, great looking game. Hi there, Mark Vergeer here with a small video, and this time it's an MSX themed video because the machines have turned. Okay, so now some gameplay. Let's turn on the machine and play some PacMania. Yeah, PacMania. Actually, this version on the MSX was brought out on disc as well as cartridge, and it is best played on a 60 Hz machine. On a 50 Hz machine it's kind of slow. On the 60 Hz machine it's actually quite fun, and I'll show you some snippets of gameplay. I think the music in this game is really good, and the sound effects also very nicely done. Yeah, here you see what actually happens in a lot of the computer versions of PacMania, and that's the fact that the game screen, the moving game screen, is actually cut in, well, how do you say that? It's reduced in size, and it does not contain the entire screen, which is a shame because, you know, what is it, devoting 1/3 of the screen to a score is kind of iffy, I guess. But yeah, still great game, and I like it. So moving on to the next game. This is also a game I've been playing a lot on the MSX, and that's the game of Frogger. And it's very nicely played with a keyboard as well as the joystick. So here I select the keys, and I'll show you a snippet of the gameplay as well. This game was among the first games that I ever played on the MSX system, and it plays very nice. It plays nice, it plays very nicely. And of course I am a bit suicidal, jumping straight in front of oncoming traffic. I guess I'm overjoyed with the fact that the MSX has turned 30. Yes, I pronounced it correctly. It's really very weird. A computer system growing up with and then finding out it is 30 years old already. Yeah. I should be able to just, you know, get the first round, because the first round in Frogger is always pretty easy. It's the next levels where there are snakes and crocodiles and all sorts of baddies, making it even more difficult. Well, let's move on to the next game, and that's the game of Spaceman Bow. Yes, Konami, I'm doing a little gameplay here. Spaceman Bow, and I'm trying to show you how it is properly played. Yeah, I'm actually narrating this after I've done some gameplay, so I'm concentrating on the gameplay here. I'm just narrating over it, watching the footage as I speak now, and you'll see that I'm much better at playing than recording the footage at the same time as I'm playing video games. But yeah, watching the footage, I'm actually having troubles speaking to you. So I guess I'm just rubbish at multitasking, at least rubbish at multitasking in a language that is not my native tongue. So as you can see, the best way to go about it is actually to level up very dramatically. So you basically, with very little movement, destroy just about anything that comes your way. And yeah, you really have to tuck underneath these rising ships, avoiding the stuff that they shoot at you. But you really have to be down there and not go up, because you won't be able to survive the other way, any other way. Yeah, so here with the extra weapons, it's pretty easy defeating the weapons on the floor, and with the missiles you actually also destroy the turrets. So that's yeah. And the thing is, with this game, there's a lot of stuff happening on the screen, and you easily lose track of the actual objects that may kill you. So better keep an eye. So have some sort of peripheral vision going on, not entirely focusing only on your little plane, but also, you know, in the area surrounding the plane. And here we have to shoot this several times. This basically is the first kind of boss-like thing, and then we descend upon the first real boss. This is a creature that requires multiple hits. You have to hit it in the eye, that I'm shooting right now here. And the device is also, yeah, it's like badminton shuttles. They seem like badminton shuttles, only much more lethal. So yeah, you have to hit it in the eye, fly up, destroy the badminton shuttles, and if those are gone and the arm moves up, you basically fly down to the eye, hit the eye again. Now the little robot thing almost has kicked the bucket. If they turn orange, they are almost done. So probably I'm shooting this a couple of times, yes, and it explodes. So yeah, it's far easier doing the commentary afterwards. At least it's not easier doing the commentary because you really have to, I don't know. I really like doing commentary at the same time as the gameplay. But the gameplay is actually much better if I just play the game and do the commentary afterwards. But that takes twice as long, so I probably won't be doing that anytime soon. Whoops, and there I die. Yeah. So basically I want to try to show you guys a bit more of the second level here. And yeah, basically anytime I die you see me picking up the extras very rapidly. And yeah, you really have to have the extras because your ship is a bit too slow and too vulnerable to do otherwise. So yeah, you won't be able to get any further. The cool thing about this game is that if you lose weapons, if you die, you basically get thrown in quite a few upgrades pretty early on. So you don't. So it doesn't make the game impossible to continue because yeah, it's just a matter of picking up the weapons. And here you actually have one of the first games that actually does diagonal scrolling. It's a diagonal scrolling game. It doesn't scroll horizontally only, not only vertically, but also diagonally. So yeah, a diagonal shmup. That's the first. So yeah, as you can see, it's one of the early bullet hell games, and yeah, it's quite relaxed actually doing the commentary afterwards because I wouldn't have been able to pull that off doing these maneuvers. Just saying the word maneuvers and pulling off those stunts is virtually impossible for me. Yeah. So all in honor of the 30th birthday of the MSX home computer standard. Of course, the MSX standard is a bit younger than the original MSX I, and the backwards compatibility with the MSX II and the MSX I is actually quite good. So, whoops, yeah, I don't think that I should be doing that. No. Basically, you have to move to the caches to the right and yeah, have a lot of upgrades and just keep on shooting. And those blue aliens, they are kind of slow. Kind of slow moving around, so you get a chance to knock them out before they encounter you. And it's best to use the options for that. And I think I'm going to run into a problem here because yeah, you have a tendency to take the elevator early, but you have to postpone taking the elevator because otherwise you'll be crushed underneath. Well, you'll see. If I remember correctly, this time I'm actually probably going to tuck underneath these elevator platforms too early, and it'll crush me, and then it's game over, if I remember correctly. So yeah, so here I'm doing the right thing, moving to the right cache areas, destroying the aliens underneath, and then moving to the right again, destroying the aliens over there, and then that I shouldn't have done. I should have lingered on, but I was afraid of those blue things hitting me, and yeah, it's I think it's game over now. No, last time. So shoot arrows on the right, and as you can see, the game is pretty forgiving. It just gives you weapons upgrade pretty quickly, so you can continue at with reasonable chances. And the last game in this video, and that's the game of, and it's an iconic game, the game of PacMan. I think the version on this MSX system actually is very good. It's very similar to that found on the NES, and it plays really fast and smooth. And it also has the cutscenes, I believe. Not sure, or at least the music. Or does this? No, this version doesn't have cutscenes. Of course, that's the Miss Pac-Man. There's no Miss Pac-Man version on the MSX. That's a shame. I would love to see a Miss Pac-Man version on the MSX2. And this is actually an MSX I game. So I may actually end up doing some more MSX gameplay videos just because the MSX has turned 30. I have a playlist of MSX videos. I'll put a link to the playlist in the description. So yeah. Congratulations, MSX, on reaching 30 years of greatness, and hopefully 30 years or more. Well, Mark signing off, and I'll be back with another video soon.